So I recently finished reading Star Wars Jedi Battle Scars by Sam Max. This will be my full spoiler review. If you want to see my spoiler-free review, it will be linked in the cards. But just a quick summary of spoiler-free reviews. While it was a decent read, I just did not connect with it. I don't like it as well as I've liked other Star Wars novels, and especially, particularly, Star Wars tie-in game novels. Just didn't connect with me that well, so I didn't like it as much. Still a decent, enjoyable read, just didn't work for me. But let's actually get into the spoilers and talk more about the book itself. If you watch my spoiler-free review, one of my problems is I felt it wasn't connected enough with the games, but at the same time, too connected with the games. And that's kind of weird to say because how can it be both? But the thing is, it felt like, in terms of characterization and character stories, that's where it failed to connect in. I still recognize all our characters as themselves, but the problem is because I've already played Star Wars Jedi Survivor. In fact, I probably earlier today did another live stream of it. The problem is that in Survivor we get a flashback scene to where when the team split off, go their own separate ways. And that's where the problem lies. The events of this book excellently describes the tensions and all that that would lead them to leaving apart, but the way it was portrayed in game felt like it was boiling, but it had finally exploded during that flashback scene. While here shows that it has already exploded, then they healed, and then it exploded again. And that's a problem I don't like. I don't like how the implication I don't like how the implication of that suggests that they got better, then they got worse to get on understanding each other. Yes, the book makes it clear they still got some work to do on it, but that doesn't sound like something like we'll have another explosion and go our separate ways. That's what I don't like. I don't like how when you look at both together, it seems to be sending them apart again, but in a more unhealthy way. Now, granted, sometimes that will happen, but from a narrative perspective, I don't like that. I don't like how those two events are similar, yet this is the more emotionally impactful one, yet it takes something that seems like a lot smaller scale to send them apart. So actually, that might be more of a fault of survival, but the thing is that there's that disconnect there, and Survivor was written, I'm sure, well before the novel was. So when it comes to you gotta build upon what already exists, even if it comes later, Battle Scars just doesn't do that well. Though handling Grease's trauma with losing his hand and all that, that's well in sync between the game and the book, so there is that. That's something. But also, I found it very clever how they incorporated a lot of the gameplay mechanics, namely BD's stims. So basically, the way the novel addresses that, it's not healing Cal, it's giving him like extra adrenaline or something to keep him going in a fight. And no, okay, sometimes it may be giving something like adrenaline, sometimes it may be giving him Bacta to help heal an injury, but I really do like how they incorporate that, though it does feel a bit too much like drug use in the way it's portrayed in the novel. But that's because there's not a health bar under Cal the entire time of the novel, so you gotta make sacrifices for terms of story. But they could have handled that a little better, but I did like that they found a clever way of incorporating that. But my biggest problem, in my opinion, has to deal with Merrin's relationship. This is major spoilers now, but they meet a ex-Imperial named Fret, who lied about leaving the Empire, but does leave the Empire. Again, she probably could have been more truthful, and I don't like that about her. That she felt like she couldn't tell the entire crew that she was pretending to leave. She hadn't officially left the Empire because she still needs the codes. They would have, I'm sure, understood that if she told them, but she didn't. But she did tell Merrin, but Merrin didn't tell everyone else. See the tension though, that could have made a much better explosion of tension to get the gang to leave each other in this novel, and then they come back together in the game. That would have been better, but that's not how it was. But anyhow, Fred and Merrin strike up a relationship. Now, I'm a hardcore Cal Merrin shipper, so I was like, but Cal was right there, Merrin. But then again, that's because ever since the first game, I shipped them, and I didn't want to see either of them with anybody else. So that was, I think, part of my problem about how I wasn't able to connect that well with the story. But Marin also, after being isolated forever on Dathomir, yeah, she probably does need to have a few other relationships and understand that kind of stuff a little better before she and Cal get together. Plus, Cal, well, he doesn't acknowledge his feelings very well and really took, well, in Survivor, as well as for the Survivor as well, bold pushing him and getting Cal to admit that there might be something there. So you can definitely tell with the Cal thing, he knows there's something there, but he's not even admitted it to himself yet. But the problem with Fred and Marin's relationship comes from this, in my opinion. Marin is struggling connecting with her Dathomirian Night Sister magic. She's away from the planet. So I do like that the magic is tied to the planet on that. And is tied to the dark side, but not quite. Again, the book kind of strides the line where it doesn't commit anything, but I do like the idea that Marin realizes other emotions besides, anger and hate she can draw on to help her magic. But the problem comes, I really don't like how they tied Marin regaining her, or not regaining, but revitalizing her abilities in magic and the force to having a sexual relation. I'd rather have been an emotional relation. Well, yes, that was a part of it. And in fact, I would say the emotional relationship, lore-wise, is what really did it. But the way the novel was written, it really tied more her rejuvenation of her powers with the sexual relation with Fred. And that's what I don't like. I don't like the idea that's me Night Sister magic involves that kind of stuff. That doesn't work because it just doesn't work in my opinion. Now, I don't mind the emotional aspect of it. That makes a lot of sense because what it is, the Force does rely on emotions, light side and dark side. Light side is really just immense compassion, and love can be a very compassionate emotion until it becomes possessive, and that's when it becomes a dark side emotion. Which the Jedi, the thing is, they were so focused on possession, they forgot to talk about, yes, you can have compassion. Anakin realized that, but Anakin had other problems, and that's going to be a totally different video, hopefully. But yeah, the fact that they tied a physical relationship to Mary rejuvenating her power, I just didn't like. Now, you can still write it that way, but it was written with too much a connection between the two when I really felt like the emotional connection should have been the thing they focused on, but they didn't. They did, but they didn't. But to recap, I do like how they tied Mary rejuvenating her power to her basically exploring other emotions, but I don't like how they did not put enough narrative distance between the physical relation and the emotional relationship in relation to Marin's powers being rejuvenated. That's what I don't like about that, besides the fact that I'm a diehard Cal and Marin shipper. So you can kind of see why I personally don't connect with this novel as well as I do other Star Wars novels. There's just some parts of it that just doesn't fit my understanding of the Star Wars universe, and that's all right. I won't like everything in Star Wars. You won't like everything in Star Wars, and that is all right. All that's important is we acknowledge the strengths and we acknowledge the flaws and just enjoy what we actually enjoy. But anyhow, I do hope you enjoyed my review. I would love to hear your thoughts on Star Wars Jedi Battle Scars in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. You can also stay up to date on my content by following me on social media. I have a link tree down in the description which has all my social media links on it. Additionally, if you would like to support the channel, you can become a channel member and get early access to all my videos. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you always.